What's up? It's Keith Kalfas. Do you have money problems? I want to teach you something called the 30% rule. This has absolutely changed my life, and I want to share it with you. If you maybe have problems saving money, and financially it gets hard, just listen to me. I always talk about how I lost everything in 2010 and I got sued, and I can't even go inside of the Secretary of State to renew the tabs on my vehicle without going into shaky panic attack, because I feel like they're going to tell me bad news, or every time I open up my mailbox I'm scared that I'm going to get a bad letter. It's crazy. It sucks, you know? But so I'm walking out of Secretary of State just now. I get off the phone with my accountant and I'm paying my year-end taxes, and I have more than enough money to pay my taxes. My bills are paid. I just got the plates renewed on my trucks. That was a ripoff. And I walk out and the sun is shining on my face. And I'm in a new truck. My insurance policy paid off for the whole year. Well, basically, I'm good now. And I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. But why am I good now versus then? It's because something called the 30% rule that I've been putting in place for the past 5 years. My buddy Scotty, he's the guy who broke his hand on the four-wheeler in my previous vlog. He's definitely one of my mentors, one of my best friends. He taught me this by scaring the living shit out of me. Here's a guy who had lost everything and then got it all back. The 30% rule means that 30% of all gross revenue, all income that's coming into your life and your business, gross, gets set aside and saved no matter what. No matter what. So for the first few years, I was actually, up until a year and a half ago, I was saving 50% of all income that comes into my life. Seems impossible, right? My wife and I were stuck living in a shitty one-bedroom apartment for a long, long time, because when you're getting started in a business, you don't know what you don't know. Like you're in the forest and you can't see the forest for the trees, and you don't, like, all I knew is if I just kept working and grinding and hustling and saving, and I was so glad that I did, because there were so many years by the time the springtime came that I was so freaking broke that I barely made it to the next year. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much for the 30% rule. So that's 30% of all income gets saved. That covers taxes, breakdown, insurance, the stupid bullshit expense category. Well, that's the other 20%, so 50%. I could talk your head off for an hour. Just save your fucking money, dude. Literally, don't increase your lifestyle. Don't make that purchase. Don't do any of that stuff until you've gone through all of your bills and your finance, and you sat down with your accountant and you know exactly where you are. You're projecting where you're going to be in 30, 60, 90 days. You know where you were last year and the year before, and you've got a plan of how you're going to keep money coming in. And until you know that you know that you know, don't increase your lifestyle, because as soon as you do, the bottom's going to fall out and something's going to happen that's going to literally screw you up. Your best bet is to just keep working it out and keep doing it the hard way. If you see somebody else who's doing it an easier way and they got the money to do it and you don't have the money, if getting that thing is going to make it easier for you, then by all means you should get it. But if it puts you in jeopardy, I play it safe. I know people that are way more successful than I, because they play it risky. They go out and they do shit. But I also, you know, how often do you hear about the guys, they're not going around bragging when they took a risk and now they can't make their mortgage, or they're falling behind their bills, and their credit score's getting messed up because they overextended, is the key word, themselves. I know one thing, there's the tortoise and the hare. If you are the tortoise and you just stay consistent and you just keep working, the guys that are going real fast, some of them will become astronomically successful and you'll be like, dude. But some of them will have repeated setbacks and failures. And if you just are the tortoise and you just keep being consistent and staying diligent and focused and humble, you will steadily keep rising up. Little by little by little by little, you keep making more money, you keep showing more money. You're going to have scars on your face, you're going to get gray hairs, you're going to get dirt under your nails. It is tough. You already know it's tough. Or, you wouldn't even be subscribed to this channel, right? This is stuff I talk about in my landscaping success course, the 30% rule and all that. You got to sign up for it if you're new in the landscaping business. You've got to just give it a shot and try it out. Click the link in the description below. It'll take you to a free video series where you can check out all the stuff totally free. But then check out my landscaping success course. I believe everybody who's just getting started in the landscaping, or they're in their first year or two, there's so much stuff that you can learn in there. It's just going to put money in your pocket, and it's really, really cheap how I've priced it. And that's one thing that I love doing, and the money I get from it pays for me to do all this social media stuff. That's because I'm smart. I found a way to make all this YouTube stuff pay for itself, and it's by creating books and courses and things like that, you know what I mean? And I don't like to be a pushy sales type of guy, right? I didn't even plan saying that in the beginning of the video, but it came out, you know? Yeah, so cool. Find a way. If you can't save 30%, then find a way to make more money so you can save 30%. Set it up in a different bank account. Look up Mike Michalowicz's book, Profit First Banking, and yeah, so you have multiple bank accounts. I have many bank accounts that all the money goes into different places, so I can't touch it. Some bank accounts, money goes in, no money's allowed to come out until certain times, right? But enough of that. That's too complex. Just 30% of all income. Find a way to save it. And I know you could be like, I can't. I'm not even going to make enough money to pay the bills. I know. I've been there for years. And if you don't even make enough money to pay the bills, then you got a much deeper problem going on. And not saying you got a problem like judging you. I'm saying I had a much deeper problem. And my problem is I didn't want to accept the reality of the system, right? The sooner you swallow that pill and accept and stop bucking the system and realize that this is the way it is the sooner then you can start playing the game and then using the rules of the game to start winning and actually start getting ahead, right? Is utilizing the system to your advantage. It's here for us. We live in America. We live in the greatest country to be able to have this type of opportunity and success that none of our previous people, well, our founding fathers died for us to have this, and we're so damn lucky. And why would we take it for granted? So many times in my life I've been let off the hook by the skin of my teeth. I got lucky as shit and didn't go down the way of the dodo or go down the hole. Or times I should have died or you lost everything. And I don't take that for granted, bro. I'm always looking over my shoulder. Think about the times in your life that you lucked out by the skin of your teeth and you didn't get in trouble. That's a surefire sign. You want to call it a sign, the universe, you want to call it God, letting you off the hook and say, go on, you get the get out of jail free card. Don't mess up again. We need to take that very seriously and get and be humble and diligent and wise. Solomon asked for wisdom, and be very wise, because we got families to feed, we got futures to create, and we've got people that we don't even know, and people and children and our children's children that aren't even here yet, that are counting and depending on you and I to be the best that we can possibly be. Because when we're old men sitting in a rocking chair and we look back at our lives, a good man did the good fight, the good due diligence, bro. I could talk for an hour about this. Love you guys. Peace. Check the links in the description below, dog.